Oh, geez, that's wrong. That's the one. Gosh darn. How would you get so rusty at this just by not doing it for 6 days in a row? Oh, and I forgot to shave too. Oh, noticing it all right now. Maybe check the mirror before you go on air. Hello, good evening. Welcome back, everybody. Tonight is hello to you at home. Excuse me.
Jesus.
Producer's doing her own show again. Tonight is Tuesday, August 25th, 2026, and we are very excited to have a guest who is named Mark Marshall. If the name doesn't mean anything to you, man, the stuff he's... I hear something else.
What's that?
I hear something else. The stuff he's worked on is going to mean a lot to you, especially if you're around my age. Most of the movies that were special to me in my childhood, this man has worked on and had a part in making and creating, and it's a big deal to us. He was a guest with us on Blockbuster Year on Thursday, and he agreed to come back over here with us on Playset on Tuesday, and we were so excited to have Mark Marshall here. But before we get to him, let's do the weekends. Welcome back, everybody. How was your weekend? Producer Ariel over there, the purple-headed producer.
Every time you ask me that, I have no idea what I did. So I think it was good. Oh. Did I see you on Sunday? Was I here all day Sunday?
I think the problem is the way I phrase this question here. Let me bring Kyle in too. The way I phrase this question is, how was your weekend? When the truth is, I just really want to know how your whole week was. Because we were together we did this on Monday last week to accommodate Jodie Sweetin.
Yes.
And then Wednesday we were together on Good Night with Ben Glebe.
Yes.
Also with Jodie Sweetin. And then
just like a pack.
But then you came over to do some research for a project you're working on the other night as well. So I guess that's what we did.
So that's what we did.
That was our week.
You know, we were bouncing about. I'll tell you what I did today though. Kyle, I watched one of your videos because
my video. Wow.
Yes, because I'm looking at the DJI Osmo 3. And also like probably the microphones as well, but I was like looking up all these videos and comparisons, and I was like, oh, Kyle does this. Let me just go and see what Kyle has to say. And your review was long but fantastic.
Was it the Mexico one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
It was great. I really liked the rating systems that you did, that you had like all these cards or whatever, but like it was fantastic. So I have no idea what I did this weekend, but I did do that today.
Watch some videos.
Nice.
Yep.
If you haven't gotten a chance to check out the Jodie Sweetin episode from last week, I suggest you do. It was an off-the-walls party that we have been getting a tremendous amount of positive feedback about. More like this.
Oh, that's great. So we should let our ADHD flags fly?
Throw the blue card away, do the whole Letterman of it all, and just...
be our weird selves.
Yeah.
And don't apologize for it.
If you missed it, Kyle had a cat on his shoulder for the majority of the episode.
Dude.
Sometimes it would switch shoulders. It's not a euphemism. It really happened.
She's a shoulder cat.
She's a shoulder cat.
I should point out,
kind of a shoulder cat.
She was a hairless cat, and they were dressed the same. I'm just saying, you should probably check out that episode.
Also, underneath,
check it out. Oh, that's not it. So close. So close.
But same era. I think.
Check it out.
Yeah, but I think that was also on, the Friday night thing that Jodie was on.
No, that's what I know. I do know. Cut it out. Though.
Cut it out.
Right, and I'm saying, check.
Yeah. I'm here for it. I'm here for it all. But
Thank you for explaining it to the audience.
I was a little bit behind. No, I was behind, okay? I'm just saying it was...
One of the funniest moments of the episode last week. People keep talking about that at the end when you read the comment that we had all just read. It was just great.
Oh, my God. I still haven't rewatched that part of the...
Classic.
Oh, my God. Anyway, all I wanted to say was that underneath that little T-shirt, Kyle's cat looks like a cow.
Oh, yeah. Your cat does look like a cow.
Little cat cow.
Mm.
So,
yeah, she's got spots.
She's got spots.
Black spots all over.
Yep. I just think like that, if ever there was a fucking poster child like for yoga, what do you call that?
Yeah.
Mascot.
Yeah.
It's not right either.
Yoga mascot.
No,
that totally works.
Okay.
Yeah, mascot.
Spokesperson. Yeah. Forget it. Remember Geico had
like
the little lizard?
Yes, exactly. Yep. Yeah, love that.
And then Affleck, they had, what's his name?
The duck.
Well, yeah, but it was Gilbert Gottfried.
That duck had a name? Oh.
No, it was Gilbert Gottfried was the voice of Affleck.
Yes. Affleck.
Yeah. Good evening, Jeremy Purvis. Sorry, I'm blowing through these. Good evening, Jessica Reel. Hello to Irie, who is here. I'm so glad you were joining us with Mr. Mark Marshall. How about you, Kyle? How was your week? I see you've... Daryl's here. Hi, Daryl. I see you've changed clothes.
Yeah, the Hawaiian shirt just didn't feel fitting tonight, so.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know.
Although-
I don't know. I can see Mark Marshall not only in a Hawaiian shirt, but it makes me think of a story he may tell here tonight too. So
I also feel like it's very Goonies and,
Chunk
80s.
was wearing a Hawaiian shirt in the movie.
So,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you want to do a little costume change, we know you do those.
Did anyone see online? I reposted it. I think thousands of people reposted it. But right after we talked about some of the outtakes the other night on Blockbuster Year, I did this. I was over there. Anyway, from some of the Goonies outtakes, someone then posted. It was AI that did it, but it was a little clip of Chunk doing all the things he was telling the Fratellis he did when he was confessing in the basement.
Oh,
so
man.
he's gluing his uncle's toupee to his face and he's mixing up fake vomit
Oh,
and all
my
that shit.
God.
It was hilarious. So shout out to all the Goonie fans and whoever made that video, because that video made the rounds.
I'm sure it did.
Can't stand AI, but I'm trying to embrace it. I'm pushing the button even on YouTube. I'm letting it create the clip names and the
Those.
oh yeah, you have a bone to pick with it.
Yeah, I have a bone to pick.
Let's
First of all,
hear it.
because I don't like AI using my image at all. That is where I draw a line with AI.
Right.
But they make me fucking ugly. What? Like AI? Fuck you.
Do you I look old and decrepit in mine too?
You don't.
I do, and if you look
The
at
ones
them,
that I've seen, I think you look handsome in.
it's very nice of you.
There's times where I totally forget to do a thumbnail, and I'll have to, like, last resort generate something, but usually I'll still put whatever it generated me, I'll, like, re-Photoshop me back over that spot.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what happened to that when we did it with Phil that time, and I said make
Yeah.
make Phil look like this, and I gave it a picture of Phil as Jackie Childs, and it made him in the pose as some other black man.
Yeah. No, I use Canva
Some
for
other
mine.
fake dude.
Take a screenshot, pop it in Canva, remove background, and then I do what I want.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
So I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to
can-
do everything
yeah,
you just said.
I can help.
All right. We all have to pool our resources. Everybody's good at something.
That's true.
Let's see. Yeah, and there are some questions I already have lined up for Mr. Mark Marshall as well. So
Perfect.
why don't we, without further ado, it and bring in our friend Mr. Mark Marshall if he's ready. Let's see. You're so funny.
Ready.
Did we do it? Yeah, there we
Did
go.
it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Mark Marshall. He worked at LucasFilm. He worked at Amblin. He was Steven Spielberg's assistant back in the day, and he worked and produced a lot of the films that we grew up with. We are very grateful to have him here. I'm grateful to call him a friend that I know personally outside of this. And Mark, it means the world to me that you did this. So, Mark Marshall, everybody.
Are you saying I'm old?
Yeah, Zell is better for me.
Hi, Jay. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So great to have you here, and thank you for all of your generosity of time the other night on Blockbuster Year. We did a regular length Blockbuster Year, 3+ hours, and he stayed for the whole thing. You and Bayman both.
Fun. It was fun, and I didn't have to pee once.
I know.
That's impressive, you know? Like,
At my age, yes.
I may have to go in the middle of this. That happens sometimes. Let's see. Let's lose one of these cameras in case there is someone else who may join us as well, and I'll just get rid of that in case. And if they do, it'll be a surprise guest.
yes.
So basically, Kyle, you may or may not have met up in Astoria. He's Indiana Jones down there in the left, and Ariel is our producer here on this show. And everybody,
Well,
this is
both.
Mark Marshall. We're all going to kind of just roundtable this because I have a feeling that everyone has questions, and I feel like everyone's feeling pretty lucky to talk to you tonight. So,
Oh, well, the pleasure's mine.
I feel like we should also come with a warning, Mark. We could be a little chaotic.
that happens too.
Hey, my business was chaos for a long time.
Exactly.
So maybe we'll start with how we met. Mark, do you want to tell the story? How did we meet?
We met last year at the Short Circuit House for the Goonies 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
And I didn't know your story at the time, but I got bits and pieces of it as it went. And but I think we became fast friends, and I've been following you ever since then.
Oh, wow. All right, so mine was a little different. I got to meet Mark Marshall. It was a big deal. I was very excited about it. and then we maintained a friendship, which I'm very grateful for. And then we got to see each other again this year at 41, Goonies 41, and Short Circuit 40.
Absolutely. You moderated the Free Willy and
Goonies.
the Goonies?
Yep.
And the Goonies family, yes.
Yep.
And,
I did a bunch with the Short Circuit stuff, but one of my favorites was the spontaneity that occurred during our Goonies panel.
Well, I just felt so comfortable with you. I mean, you're a great moderator. You're a great interviewer. You're just a great person to talk with. So it was you made it a lot of fun. We didn't get to cover near enough.
No, there's never enough time in those things.
Half hour. Yeah, just half hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not enough. It goes by so quick.
That's one of the, there's a lot of podcasts these days, and it's hard to keep up on all of them. But I am grateful for the format so that we can have these long-form conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mark, we may as well just jump in, man. How did your career start?
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm an Oklahoma kid, born and raised in a town called Enid, Oklahoma, and fell in love with film in probably my 9th grade year. I mean, of course, I went to movies growing up, went to Disney films, and, that was at a time when you could go to a theater in the morning and pay one admission and stay all day. They never kicked you out.
Yeah, I used to do that
before
too.
the blockbusters. So, I grew up on film, and then two friends and I formed a production company in our 9th grade year and made little short comedies with our youth group. And that just fostered the love of film. And so by the time I graduated high school, I kind of set my sights on SMU, majoring in cinematography, but I didn't have the grades nor the math skills or the science skill, really, that's required for a cinematographer. So I kind of put that aside. In June of '77, I went out to SC, to LA, and went to USC for the summer. It was a summer course, 6 weeks with Universal Studios. Met a producer named Howard Kazanjian, who was producing George Lucas's sequel to American Graffiti, and just started hanging around sets, asking him questions, and stayed in touch with him for, better part of a year. And, back then, I wasn't sure what the protocol was. And as my friend George Campbell says, there's a fine line between persistence and stalking.
Facts.
And
We were having that conversation just before we
Literally
pressed record tonight.
Just now. And especially, I mean, it's so prevalent for our industry because it is like, you got to keep in touch.
Yeah.
But not too much. You can't be creepy about it.
And people want you to be persistent, but not
but
too
not,
much. It's
don't
like,
be all up in it. Yeah, it's so delicate.
No, absolutely. And I saw examples of that later on in my career. But anyway, Howard remembered me. I moved out to LA in January of '78 and was going to Los Angeles Valley College until Prop 13 kind of did away with the arts programs, and was kind of floundering, and got back in touch with Howard. Kept every week kept calling, and finally in September of '78 he offered me the job as a film runner on More American Graffiti, which I did, which then led to staying at LucasFilm, which then meeting Steven as his projectionist, then leading to Amblin, and so on and so on.
Well, so on and so on for you. That's like yada yada yada, the best part.
Yeah.
So on.
Those are all jobs that people would be. Those are all. Yes, I'm like I was Steven Spielberg's professional projectionist, and that's the end of my career. No. That's just a stepping stone.
Wow.
Well, it was a different industry back then.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It really was. And you proved yourself, and you moved on, and hopefully moved up, and eventually I found my niche, which was post production, which I felt that's where the movie was really made, and just and took a second career as a post production supervisor.
Good grief. Well, I mean, okay.
And you did one hell of a
fine.
movie on that too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point, Kyle.
I'm wearing the wrong costume for that one though. So
Are we
What?
talking about, what would that be, Empire Strikes Back?
Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry Potter later. Oh my gosh, of course.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was kind of the penultimate. I did one more picture for Warner Brothers after that, called New York Minute, the Olsen twins, and
yeah.
then
That's weird.
kind of went off in other pursuits and tried to start a production company with some friends, and things work out, things don't work out, but
Yeah.
I don't regret any decision I made, and I'm still in touch with a lot of the people I met in the industry, so I'm really grateful to still have those relationships.
You skipped around saying, "Oh, from Lucasfilm to Amblin." That's sort of like what I did in the introduction. How did you get involved at Lucasfilm? How did you then transition? Like, how did the river flow for you?
Well, I did More American Graffiti for 3 months. Started out taking the film to the lab. They were shooting up in Central California, so I would pick up the film at the airport. Remember PSA Airlines and
Yeah.
the Instapack service. And then in the morning, I would look at the dailies, high speed, MOS, and then ship it to Central California where they were shooting. And did that for 2 months. And then they added picking up the actors, the cast, taking them to and from the airport, which I guess George wanted to conserve money. So instead of a limo or a town car,
We'll just
they
send a
got
PA.
a yellow Celica. Toyota Celica. And then at the end of the production, I went in to meet Howard Kazanjian again, and he said, "Was it a good experience?" I told him everything I'd learned, and he said, "Well, would you like to stay on at Lucasfilm? We need a PA." And I had to think about it. No, not really. Of course, I said yes immediately, and I became the sole PA at Lucasfilm. We had an office building in Southern California called the Egg Company. It was right across the street from Universal, the Universal Tour entrance. And Lucasfilm South had been in these temporary trailers for a long time. This Olsen Egg Company, which was an egg distribution center in the 70s, was refurbished in a Ghirardelli style that Marshall Lucas oversaw. And we moved in, and we encompassed the legal, the merchandising, the publicity, and the production office for Raiders of the Lost Ark as well. So,
Oh my gosh.
we had a vault in the loading dock which had one of everything: a lightsaber, the blasters, the Vader costume, and I ended up chaperoning Darth Vader on several of his appearances, and then also running R2-D2 for a science fiction award show. So it was kind of varied. I got a chance to do more than I think a regular PA, including going to London with publicist Craig Miller and doing cast and crew interviews. So it was a real education.
Wow.
You were just the guy.
Yeah. You're well known for being the Goonie Wrangler, but you're also the Lord Vader Wrangler.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a hard job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I've got
that
a
long arm.
When
I've
someone
got a
asked for
picture.
something at Lucas, they would just say, "Yeah, we got a guy," and it was you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
I
did
think
everything.
it's
Someone said I was like Forrest Gump, in that I was kind of at the right places in history, and I guess that's true. I delivered the letter to Dennis Stanfield, the chairman of the board of 20th Century Fox, from George, saying that he was going to allow Fox to distribute The Empire Strikes Back,
Wow.
and made a complete fool of myself in doing it. Which is
Gotta hear this story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it did a lot of different.
What happened? We got to hear that story. What happened?
I got the letter, and I was told to deliver it only to Mr. Stanfield, and so I drove over to Fox and went into the executive office. It was lunchtime, and went into the outer office, and it was dark. There was no one there, but there was a light on in the inside office, and I guess he heard me. So he said, who is it? And let me just back up a second. I was so nervous before I went in that I went down the hall to the bathroom, and tidying myself up and had to go. And so anyway, I walked into his office, and it's this huge office. It's like the hallway in The Wizard of Oz when they're going to meet the wizard. And finally reached his desk and said, I have a letter for you from George Lucas, sir. And he kind of looked me up and down strangely, and he said, thank you. I said, oh, you're welcome. And I walked out into the hallway, breathed a sigh of relief, and thought, well, what was he staring at? And I looked down, and not only was my zipper undone, but my shirt tail was pulled through.
No notes. No notes.
I was waiting for the beeper, for the page saying, you're fired, you're out of there.
Oh my
go
God.
Back to home.
Out.
Way to leave your mark.
It didn't happen. Pardon?
Mark. I said, way to leave your mark.
Oh, I'll tell you. I don't think he ever forgot me.
No.
Well, probably not at least for 10 minutes.
Between the contents of that letter and having a shirt penis,
Yeah.
no one's going to forget that.
And the messenger, exactly.
Well,
Wow.
you got to find a way to make him remember you.
Yes, absolutely. And you're going to get to a question we've got.
Yeah, I don't know if it's laggy or not. It seems like some people say no. I'm not sure. I see Mark's
Mark is a little,
signal coming in and out, but we can hear him, which is the most important
Yeah.
part.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, we can see you the whole time, but it kind of pixelates a little bit.
Oh, I see. That's strange.
Troy says hello. Daryl Boggs, Uncle Mark, Daryl Boggs says. Calls you Uncle Mark. Irie says, hi, guys. Jeremy's here. A lot of people in the chat for you tonight, Mark. Brad Tyndall's here. Good evening, Mark Marshall.
Good evening to everyone.
Jeremy Purvis says, hi, Mark.
Hi,
Let's
back.
see. Whitney says, my pictures are pretty, but not me, LOL. I guess it's what the internet wants me to look like, LOL.
The AI conversation.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
funny.
that was from
That's
the AI
funny.
stuff.
Exactly. Whitney loves you, Mark. Knight Rider Historians, chaotic? No, not you guys. Guys, you want to check out Knight Rider Historians page. Joe has done just the most remarkable work, guys. The semi is done. It's about to be unveiled down at RetroCon in a couple weeks. It's amazing. He found the pieces, the trailer and the tractor, and then restored the actual Knight Rider semi, and it's exactly like it was in the show. I've been in it. I've seen it. It's incredible. Shout out to Joe, man. That's speaking of our childhood and keeping it alive. Let's see. Irie, hello. Let's see. Ariel, couldn't be us. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's make those longer next year. Good idea, guys. Tell everyone Mark Marshall said so. Talking about the panels there.
Yep.
Kyle Walton says, what's up, chat? That's also Kyle Watts. Kyle, what's up? That looks somehow I read soup there. There's Kyle Walton soup. This is a new brand. You said there's a question here somewhere, right?
Yes,
Zerel,
I can just
everyone's
read
saying
it.
hello. Oh, okay.
It's from Whitney. How does one become
I
a
got
movie runner?
There you go.
Here it is.
Perfect. Well,
It's-
we should both answer that,
Yeah.
Mark. You go first.
Yeah, it's networking. I mean, it's they say it's who you know, and that's absolutely true. I got to know Howard Zangian. Howard, I think, got a little sense of maybe what I was capable of. I don't know, but and then after that, after the initial job, it was up to me to network and make the next contact. So that was my experience. Jay, I don't know about you.
Very similar in that you can't get in the door unless you either know someone or figure out a way to make an impression. Mm-hmm. And as much as we joked about Mark's delivery method a few moments ago to the chairman of 20th Century Fox, he did indeed make an impression, and that is kind of what it needs to be. However, back to the conversation about being persistent and or stalking, it's a fine line.
Yeah.
Everything's a fine line. You want to leave a mark and be memorable, but in a good way. You want the good heat, not the bad heat. That's my experience.
Right.
And there's a lot of
You need to
ghosting,
be-
right?
Yes, but that gets your foot in the door. After that, it is 100% up to you to do what Mark said, either network or attach your cart to the right guy.
Oh, yeah.
But even that's dangerous because who seems like he's the right guy here and this year, 20 years from now when you're both executives might not be the right guy.
100%
So
on
you
that.
just everything is a gamble.
But what I meant in terms of like the keeping in touch and being persistent, there's a lot of people not answering you. People that you might know well, people that you
sure.
might have worked with and done 12-hour days with that, you try to keep in touch with and they don't answer. And that's a part of it. And there's also a balance within that. So it's a tricky game. It is not for the faint of heart, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I sort of started twice because I did it on the East Coast. And then I did it on the West Coast.
Oh yeah, I'm on like
when I
round
moved
4.
out here. Yeah, I know, but my methods were different. Like I had a legitimate internship and stuff the first time, but then I kind of just sort of like went to NBC out here the second time, or the Universal lot, not dissimilar to Steven Spielberg. I never set up an office for myself or anything. But it was one of those like, oh, I'm working on this project. Oh, that's great. But I would show them that I know stuff, and they'd be like, oh, well, when you're done with that, you should come over here and try to get on this project. I'm like, okay, great idea. And that's sort of how my LA career began. Sort of like, look, I've done all this stuff. Can you just give me a shot over here?
Yeah, when I moved to New Zealand, the methods had to be different. And I've, quote unquote, started over so many times because I've moved countries and states and whatever. And when I moved to New Zealand, I called every single producer. At this point, I was coordinating and second ADing.
Right.
So I called every producer, every UPM, every first AD, every second AD. I was calling everybody. That by the time I actually got on a job, that was a huge job. They had like 5 people on the AD team. So it was just good timing. They needed people. By the time I walked into that production office that had multiple producers, multiple production managers, multiple ADs, every single person in that room knew me because I had reached out to every single one of them.
Right.
Which, at a lower position, that's a little bit easier to do, I think, than when you're the top of the food chain. The methods look a little different.
I was talking about when I was trying to be a PA, not when I was above the line trying to hire crew.
Yeah, it's different. It's different where you are in your career. It differs.
But great question,
Yeah.
Whitney. Wow, that's amazing, Mark. I love hearing people's origin stories and how they got into the industry. Thank you for sharing.
And sometimes it's just
So inspirational.
It's just timing.
Yeah.
While I was going to school, going to Valley College, and waiting for a potential job to open up with Howard, I went to a seminar. There was a place called Sherwood Oaks Experimental College down in the heart of Hollywood on Hollywood Boulevard near Cahuenga. And they would do seminars with professionals. I took an evening class with Michelle Hugo, who was a cinematographer. I still have my notes, a whole notebook of notes from that time. But they did a Saturday symposium with some of the guys from ILM. This was, about 9 months after Star Wars came out.
Whoa.
And so, these guys were rock stars. And so I was sitting in a big crowd of people waiting for it to start. And these guys in front of me were talking, and I kind of joined in on the conversation. I don't know why, but I just was interested in what they were saying. And it turned out they were working for a company called CPC Associates, or Cascade Pictures of California, which was started by a guy named Roy Seawright in the 20s. He had originally started as a property master on Laurel and Hardy shorts,
Whoa.
and then moved into optical work on those films and other comedies that Hal wrote. His son Ron took over in the early 70s, and by the time Star Wars came out, special effects and commercials were huge. I mean, it jumped like 275%.
Wow.
And so based on that initial conversation with those guys on a Saturday, on a Monday, they invited me to come tour the studio down in the heart of Hollywood on Seward Street. And so I went, and they offered me a one-day job as a PA on that, and just on their commercials. And then one day turned into 2, which turned into 2 weeks, which turned into 2 months. And I worked there until I got the call from Howard. So sometimes it's just being in the kind of the right place at the right time and maybe, taking an interest in someone's conversation. But like I said, it was a different time back then. It was almost 50 years ago, which was half the length of film history.
Wow, that's a weird thing to think about. But you're right, it's a time before NDAs. People were still talking about projects out on the street because there wasn't TMZ and people's cell phones and listening and blowing leaks and everything. Wow. Let's see here. Everyone says awesome. I'm just going to get through the. Will you let me know if there's any kind of questions?
Yeah, there's no questions.
There's just tons of support for you, Mark.
Everybody loves you, Mark. I gotta tell you, this chat is loving on you.
Yeah,
and each other.
I love them too. I love Goonies fans. Are the greatest fans in the world.
When we did our panel at the Liberty Theater in Astoria, when I announced Mark Marshall's name, they leapt to their feet. It was incredible. It was like instant.
Yeah.
Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
And it cost me a lot of money too.
He makes that joke every time. He doesn't take. I said that the other week on the other show, but he doesn't take praise well.
Yes.
So we kind of have to shove it down his throat.
Sounds familiar.
I don't know what she's talking about.
As you already know, I missed that panel on that day because I was having a little bit of food poisoning issues still.
Oh, that's right. Kyle and his wife were sick that day. The real Dr. Jones.
She was fine. It was just me.
Oh, well, that's half better. Sorry, Kyle. Now this, Mark, you got to meet her. This Tracy Bishop Yerman in the chat is Amy from Short Circuit House's mom. Rich and Amy from Short Circuit House. This is her mom, Tracy. Yeah.
What a sweet lady. I love meeting her.
She's here too. Murph says, hi, Mark. Great to see you again. That's Mari, but Murph we call her. The fifth Goonie. Always nice to see you, Mark. The fifth Goonie. Aren't there? I feel like there's 7 Goonies, really.
Goonie.
I guess of the original 4, sure. Okay, I get it.
That's not Brandon.
I know. I count Brandon, Steph, and then eventually Andy, too.
Yeah, there were 7 originally, but I guess the core 4,
The core 4, yeah.
Core 4, cute.
Totally missed what Mark said that everyone laughed at.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's a little bit of glitching with Mark, but I think it's timing.
Hopefully it seems to all be being recorded fine, so hopefully the playback will be fine for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, everyone, says Johnny Nass. Sorry, Mark, go.
Is it better now?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's just when you said funny things, Jay and I laughed very loudly, and they couldn't hear what you said because we were cracking up about it, and there's a little bit of a delay. So I think it was primarily that moment.
And being a little hot on the mic is on brand for both of us.
Yes. I mean, I have my cans on.
You don't say.
I know. Kyle.
Listen, Kyle.
Kyle, the perfect sidekick over there.
Not
you guys.
You gotta get in. You gotta get in here so you can be the chaos with us.
You know what I wish these live stream programs, there's one thing that they never seem to have is like live control of all the volume levels.
I know.
Yeah.
And it should have like metering and control.
Metering in. Even
the other day on Blockbuster, like you were twice as loud as everyone, Jay. And I even put in the chat, I was like, bring your mic down a little bit.
Please say that in the chat next time, because I'm telling Brandon constantly it always sounds too loud to me, but I can't hear my mic back in that stupid StreamYard software. Sorry for saying stupid.
No, I have the same problem with Riverside this year. It never happened on my other 2 seasons of my show, but season 3, whether it's on a digital or in person, everything is off, but it sounds fine when I test it.
I understand the need for noise canceling if you're not going to use headphones. But if you have headphones plugged into something and it all knows and you're connected, you should be able to hear you back so that you can modulate yourself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's us making our complaint against technology. The 1s and 0, please.
Not getting better. Should be getting better. It's getting worse. But that's just us.
Kyle,
that's it for the gripes.
No, I know. Kyle said something I was going to jump on, and I don't remember what it was. But you're right. It doesn't make sense to me. I can't explain it. But Mark Marshall is our guest here this evening, so I'll just go back to the comments. Hello. People are just saying hello.
There's a lot of hellos.
Oh, good. You're checking.
This is a little bit of a reunion from Blockbuster here, because I recognize a lot of these people in the chat from couple
Well,
days
I
ago.
go back to they can't get enough of Mark. So, all right, we talked a tremendous amount of Goonies with Mark the other night, and I mean, there are probably a couple stories we didn't get to that I wouldn't mind hearing, but also anything from all of these other films that you were a party to, akin to here and there. Because I know you had random jobs, and sometimes the random jobs are the most interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so
I mean,
I'll share whatever I can.
well, I mean, Star Wars is. I'm not into Star Wars. I'm the one guy in this whole weird nerdville who doesn't. I'm not into Star Wars. It didn't hit me.
Well, that's me. See you guys.
Thank you, Kyle, for being with us. Good night.
Deuces.
I was just kidding.
But I know it's a huge deal for the whole freaking world. And the fact that you were a part of that in any way, shape, or form, to me, would be a tentpole, I would think.
You know, it was, I'll tell you, the nice thing about, at least in the early days with companies like Amblin or LucasFilm, is that they would give you more to do. You know, they throw you in the deep end and see if you could swim. And so Craig Miller, who was a publicist at Lucasfilm, but also the director of fan relations for Star Wars Fan Club, which had 1 million subscribers,
Wow.
gave me an opportunity to write some articles for the newsletters. And, you know, I didn't consider myself a writer. I still don't. But maybe I expressed an interest. I don't know. But I had an opportunity to do those things. And then when it was time for Craig to go to London, he asked if I wanted to come along. And we talked to Sid Ganis, who was the head of worldwide advertising and publicity. And Sid gave his blessing. So I got to make my first trip to London ever, and go to Elstree and the Hofstad, and observe for a week and do interviews, and you know, those things just don't happen as a regular occurrence. So I consider myself very, very fortunate that I had a chance to experience those things, or even like, you know, operating R2-D2 or chaperoning Vader, or you know, and some of the experiences that were involved in those things, you know, are still memories that are fresh after almost 50 years.
I am sensing a theme here in that it does sound like it's your, would you call it ambition? I don't know, but you seem to put yourself in these situations, because now the story of how you got to Astoria, I want to jump to that, even though it's Goonies related, because it seems similar. It seems like you created an opportunity for yourself to go there.
Which time?
Well, the first time, when you wanted to go see
Yes, well,
Dick Donner shoot the movie.
Yes. I was involved in the casting sessions as the video operator. I had a Betamax or a Beta movie camera. It was actually Stevens, but I did all the operating, and so I operated the camera for all the casting sessions, and got to know Dick and the kids, and you know, I felt accepted, and so I had a week's vacation coming around the time they started shooting, and I asked Steven if I could go up and spend a week in Astoria, you know, so I could observe a film being made where I didn't feel like I was going to be kicked off the set at any minute. And Steven said, well, you know, it's okay with me, but make sure you get Donner's blessing. And so I called Jenny Lou Sugan, who was Dick's executive assistant at the time, and said, you know, it would be possible for me to come up and spend some time. She said, well, let me ask Dick. And that afternoon, I was in the projection room at Amblin, and the phone call came through, and it was Michael Thaw, who was Dick's personal assistant, who, by the way, is the first prisoner coming through the opening in the beginning of the movie.
When they're coming out because it's lunchtime, you turkeys?
Yeah, he's got
Oh my gosh!
And he said, you know, Dick wants to know if you're still coming up. I kind of sensed there might, you know, a little hesitancy. So I said, well, you know, is there a problem? And he said, yeah, there's a problem. Dick said, if you're crazy enough to want to come up here, he's paying for your plane ticket. And that was kind of the beginning, of the legendary Dick Donner generosity. But so I flew up. I think it was during the first week of shooting, and flew up with John Matuzak and Randy
Sloth.
Widener, who was John's stunt double, and got there and got to the set. Actually, got to the production office, which was a Thunderbird Motor Inn, which is still there, but it's not called the Thunderbird anymore.
The little motel place.
Yeah, it's a real long one. It's I can't remember what it's called now, but it was adjacent to the Cannery Hotel.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and then I realized after learning all these keywords from Howard Kazanjian about production, and one of them which was anticipation, I hadn't anticipated where to stay. So and it turned out that every hotel room was taken by crew and cast.
Big production in town.
Yeah. So but I was resourceful. I thought, well, I could stay in one of the rooms in the honey wagon. I'd have the bathrooms there, and
I've totally done that. I've totally slept in a dressing room or a honey wagon before. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I knew what
Especially
a honey wagon was at
call.
that point too. But Pepe Passarelli, who was Sean Astin's on-set guardian, said, "Look, I need help wrangling Sean because he's got all these young girls calling him all hours of the day and night. He can't get any sleep, and so stay. He's got an extra bed. Stay in his room and make sure he doesn't get into trouble." So I had a place to stay, and I thought, well, I'll be there another 5 days, so then I'll be going home. And the second day, Donner put me to work on second unit, and ended up staying the entire time, and flying
The entire
home
production.
Up in Astoria.
Yeah.
And then and flew home on a charter with the cast and crew. And then when we got back, Steven started directing second unit, so I was at Warner Brothers every day while they were shooting, and I was with Steven. So it worked out, and when it was all said and done, I got called into Frank Marshall's office, and Mary Radford, who was Frank's executive assistant, informed me that because I believed in the movie, I was so high on it that I was going to get a credit on the movie. So Steven's executive assistant got credit, but his personal assistants didn't get credit at all.
Right.
But they gave me production office assistant for second unit.
Wow.
And my goal was that my 10-year high school reunion coming up that year, and my goal was to have my name on a film before that, and I beat it by 3 weeks.
Hell yeah!
Nice job.
Awesome.
So it all worked thanks to Kathy, Frank, and Steven, who agreed that I should have the credit. And one of the greatest experiences of my life, just in terms of different people coming together and literally becoming like a family. Which 40 years later we still are. So that was a high watermark, and I thought, well, it'll never be like that again. But I had experience several times over the course of my career.
Even some in the same town.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Like Free Willy and Free Willy Sue. And
Yeah, you know what? I want to get to Dick Donner, but let's jump around just to Free Willy, just to bounce it around a little bit, just to mix it up. Free Willy is one of those movies that seems to be important to a lot of people. I remember it, but really I think I remember more the Michael Jackson song. I don't know that I ever actually saw it all the way through, so I just purchased it recently, and I'm going to watch it. But you, correct me if I'm wrong, worked on all three.
Yes, and that's thanks to Dick Donner and Jenny Lou Tugend. When I went over to work for Dick, because I really wanted to get into production, and Dick provided that opportunity through an HBO series he was executive producing called Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, I saw that. I love that
That's
show.
one of our questions in the chat here. Yes.
I have.
man.
Yes.
I have
We'll get to Tales of the Crypt.
I have a bunch of chat stuff too.
So I went to work for Jenny as her assistant during the hiatus on Tales between season 1 and season 2. and ended up working on Lethal Weapon 3 and Radio Flyer. So
Lethal Weapon 3, is that the one where Chris Rock comes in, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. My wife, well, she's passed away now, but you know that whole story. We know each other because of Chris Rock.
I think he was 4.
Oh, shit. Never mind.
Oh.
I take it back.
He was just a baby.
It must have been Joe Pesci then. No connection. Sorry.
Yes, Pesci.
Carry on.
Pesci.
There's no connection. We'll take it. Well, I'll allow it.
Okay, thank you. So when Free Willy was committed to production, Dick bumped Jenny up to full producer, and Jenny made me associate producer, and which I repeated on Free Willy 2, and then was bumped to co-producer on Free Willy 3. And if there had been a Free Willy 4, I would have wanted it to be subtitled "Beating a Dead Horse." So 3 was was a good number.
One of my favorite one of my favorite things that happened this most recent anniversary when we were all in Astoria was you introducing Jason James Richter to me. Again, the movie wasn't super special to me, but this guy that I met is now super special to me because of the human that he seems to be, and the fact that I met him through you. That's a pretty good vetting. But you guys have remained friends all of these years.
34 years, 35 years actually coming up. So, and Jason was one of 4,000 kids initially. We actually did a 6-city open call and had people videotaping, introductions, and they didn't read or anything, just kind of get to know you. And but Jason actually didn't come through the open call. He had a manager, and he hadn't acted before. It was his first time, I think, even going on auditions. And
what would he have been, like 11, 12 years old, something?
He was 12.
12.
So, no, you're right. He was born in 80. Yeah, so he was 12. And he came in and read and blew us away. I mean, it was amazing. So we kept calling him back, and it finally came down to Jason and one other young actor. And during that time, we actually transitioned from a director that had originally been hired to Simon Windsor, who ultimately directed the film. And Simon said, "That's Jesse." And Jason just had this quality, and he just stood out every single time. But directors always want to see more people just to make sure. But for Jason, for it to be his first time in front of a camera and to carry a feature film like that is truly remarkable. Jason's an outstanding talent. He's an even more outstanding human being. And I'm really blessed to know him. I mean, we went on a lot of pre-release screenings for merchandising together to Detroit, to St. Louis, to Pennsylvania, everywhere. And he was always so much fun to talk to. He was more adult than I think I was.
That's very funny.
True.
Well, I mean, I like the guy I met, I'll tell you that. You said there's a bunch of stuff in the chat?
Yeah, I got a bunch.
All right.
This is the first time ever I've had to open my notes app and just put them all in the notes because there's so much chatter.
I know,
it's fantastic.
Good.
So you do whatever you want to do on screen. I'm going to actually read them because you're never going to get to them.
Go ahead.
So Ari asks, love that. I'm going to college now, and Mark, the conversation we had at Gizmos really helped me keep faith in my goals. Your words of encouragement will forever stick with me. I appreciate you.
Wow.
No, that means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's Irie. She
Irie.
uses the emoji to tell us that it's Irie.
Irie. Sorry, Irie. Thank you.
It was a pleasure to meet Irie, too. I mean, everyone at Gizmos that evening was, it was just a great time to just let your hair down. And not that I have that much anymore, but it was fun. It was a real pleasure meeting everybody.
Oh, I love that.
I couldn't agree more.
We do have confirmation on the fifth Goonie. It's Brad Tyndall. He
I knew
is the
it.
fifth Goonie.
It's
I knew it
funny.
was Brad.
Oh, so Brad is watching.
Well, that came from Daryl, actually.
That's a joke for the chat.
Yeah. So Jason says,
You know why,
"Hi,
why
class."
Brad is the fifth Goonie?
Sorry, say that again.
You know why Brad is the fifth Goonie?
I don't know why. Do you?
Because he took a picture with adult Sean, Corey, and Key holding the map, and everybody thought it was Jeff Cohen as an
That he was
adult.
Chunk, yeah.
Yeah.
So he spent the entire time, dispelling that myth, and so I think it's appropriate that he's the fifth Goonie.
That's actually adorable. I love that story. So Jason says, "Hi, class. Mark, I haven't finished your book, but I'm absolutely loving it. So go buy Mark
thank
books,
you.
everyone."
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Then we've got Ari. Did I say that right?
Irie.
Irie.
She uses the eye emoji to let us know.
Irie. Everything going to be Irie. That's what I got to think about. That's terrible, but it's going to maybe help my ADHD brain. I don't know. I enjoyed meeting Jay, Kyle, and his wife at the bonfire, and so many other awesome Goonie friends throughout the whole week and weekend. But getting the privilege to meet Mark and Jason at Gizmos really topped it off. So many wonderful, inspirational people and stories.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Mark.
you.
Go ahead.
No, it's fun for us.
Love that. Everyone has a good time, and that's what makes such a difference when everyone's
You got to get
present.
your ass up to Astoria
I
because
will,
that's where it's
next
at.
time,
I'm telling
yeah.
you, there is some
Next year I'm
crazy
gonna get up
energy
there.
and some crazy community going on up there.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. Then we have Mari saying, "Do you have any favorite movie that you worked on or too hard to choose, and why?"
That's a good question.
Oh gosh. Well, every film that you work on is memorable in one respect or another, whether it was enjoyable or not. And fortunately for me, almost all of mine were enjoyable. But I'd have to say Goonies, Free Willy, and Harry Potter stand out as not only great movies but great experiences as well. So I really can't single one out, but Goonies will always be the first, and so that was really special to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you have more?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Lauren says, "Thank you for being here, Mark. Adam the Woo has brought so many fans back to the real locations from the Goonies. Have you ever watched one of his videos and thought, wow, I remember that day? Is there a location he's visited that brought back a particularly strong memory for you?"
That's a good question.
Oh gosh, yes, I have seen video he did about the locations. Acola State Park kind of stands out, mainly because it was so dang windy and rainy and cold during that time. In fact, when the production office set up the trucks out on location, they were told by the park rangers to make sure they anchored at least the temporary trailers down because of the winds, and they didn't do it. And the production came out one morning, and the production office had been blown over on its side, so it was anchored after that. But it was just
Whoops-a-daisy.
it was, and Dick kept everybody's spirits up. That booming voice of his, and just the practical jokes. We had a Saturday where a lot of the families came up to spend the weekend with the crew members, and
That's beautiful in its own right, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they all wanted to introduce their wives or their husbands to Dick, and with the men, when they would introduce their wives, Dick would say, "Wait, this isn't the blonde I saw you with." And of course,
Thanks,
the wives,
Dick.
Yeah, and joking, and of course the wives would punch the husbands in the arm or whatever. And one of the crew members came up, and Dick did the same thing, and the woman hauled off and cold cocked the husband.
That guy might not have been the first time. That might have just been a poorly timed joke.
And all Dick could say was, "Gee, sorry, kid." So I don't know what happened after that, but it was a great experience in the fact that we were all cold, we were all wet, and but we had a blast doing it. You know, I was doing second unit stuff with Frank Marshall. Steven didn't start directing second unit until mainly we got back to L.A., but he did the opening scene. But you know, so when Troy gives Brand a ride on the little kid's bike, we did that sequence, and you know, just a lot of particular memories from those days spent out there. And you know how beautiful it is out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I could easily relocate there. I love it there.
Yeah, you do.
There's a house for sale. I just got a notice from somebody.
Thanks.
That they're selling their house.
There's one that we looked at that's like in the backdrop of Rich's house. It's like the next block down. It's like
I
a
wonder if that
multicolored house.
might be the one.
Yeah.
Should we just
Only
get a
downside
communal
is
house?
like
Yeah, that's
Like
not a
no
bad
driveway.
idea. If we just get
Airbnb it when we're not there.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have more.
Go ahead.
And also, just so all of us on the call are aware, there is a lag on the well, you know, here live. There is a lag on YouTube and on Facebook, so we're answering their questions, whatever. Just so you know. So Jason says, Mark, since you visited the Hoth set, can you tell us what the inside of a tauntaun really smells like?
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
That's what somebody commented next.
I don't even. But I get that one. I get that one.
Yeah, you know, there wasn't one cut open on the. We were shooting the interior of the Rebel Cave, so there wasn't one that was open. But they smell kind of neutral, maybe a little bit like Old Spice.
Oh,
Like Old Spice? That is not what I would have expected.
No, that threw me off.
That's just my recollection.
I love
They were
that.
probably covering some horrible smell with Old Spice.
Or wearing far too much themselves.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that a fisherman thing? Like, it's because we smell like we're out here, we're fishing. And
Is it? I don't know. I just.
Isn't that what's on the cover?
It
of Old
is,
Spice?
yeah. That's their,
like a fishing
it's like
village.
a tough sailor.
Yeah.
That's like their branding is like tough sailor guy.
You fish in the perfect storm. Have I got the cologne for you?
Yeah, they had such great ad campaigns back in the day.
It was caught on that stage because it wasn't soundproof. It was. I don't know if it was meant to be temporary, but it had to accommodate, you know, not only the Dagobah set, the Hoth set as well, but they had to extend the set too for Hoth. And you know, the temperatures would get up. It'd get pretty hot there, and we had to loop all the lines that were shot on stage because it was there was just too much noise.
Speaking of hot to look cold, somebody told me, or I heard that the end of The Shining, when they're in the maze, that was shot inside, probably either at L Street or the other one, the other.
Yeah, it was shot at L Street.
James. Oh, okay. And you know where I'm talking about, where it's
Yeah.
freezing cold. The guy freezes to death in the thing. Apparently, it was wicked, really hot in there. And that what we're seeing is more like steam atmosphere than like pumped in
Oh my God.
atmosphere.
It's
Nobody else?
No,
All right.
I mean that's not lore that
Chat,
I'm
can
aware
you
of.
confirm or deny what I just said? Because I'm not all that confident in it.
It's yeah.
I do
that's-
think it was suds, though. I think they used suds in The Shining.
Well, I've got 3 more for us here.
I have a question about Free Willy. How many whales did you have to interview
Oh!
before? Sorry, I couldn't holding on to
Well,
that.
actually, no. That. So I'm gonna like flip around the order of the questions here because that is related to one of them. That,
Well, let him answer it first.
oh,
Gee
you
whiz,
are.
rude.
I thought you were joking, and there wasn't.
I am, but he might have an answer.
Go for it. Let's go. Whale auditions.
We actually looked at whales in France, in Japan, in Niagara Falls, in Florida, just about everywhere. You know, orcas were being held in captivity, and it was I think Phil Rollins, who was kind of our studio production manager, who found Reno Aventura in Mexico City, and a whale named Keiko that had a bent dorsal and 3 spots on his chin. And he was gentle. He responded well to commands. And the best of all, the park was closing down for renovations.
Whoa!
So
Back
We
to
didn't have
timing.
to buy the park. Yeah, it was perfect timing.
Wow.
And so it worked out. We had made a couple visits down to Mexico City, and Walt Conti, who was our animatronic whale designer, who had done the humpback whale for Star Trek 4, went down at one point to measure Keiko, and so we could start building the animatronic orcas. And there's a story I tell in the book, a quick story that Walt got in a tank with Keiko to measure him, and Keiko got very excited, and Walt said, "Should I measure that?" And
now I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I thought you meant happy to have him in a tank. You mean
You know,
her kind of excited. I see. Yes.
Her, what?
Yeah.
Well, she's a yeah.
I'm a sex educator.
Yeah, there you go.
not aroused, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
He was trying to impress the camera.
You got a
Well,
little
Keiko was
excited
lonely.
on screen.
Keiko was lonely, and Walt was a very nice guy.
Listen, as intimacy coordinators, we sometimes have to deal with these things. It happens. It's natural. We don't need to make it weird.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
So, Tracy said the Oregonians' Free Willy was a special story, a movie turned real life when Keiko being brought to Newport. So, Keiko story.
Does that mean that they actually did save Keiko?
I think
Yeah.
so. Do you know?
Yes. Well, so when we finished Free Willy, and it was released to theaters, of course, everybody knew who Keiko was. But the fact was that Keiko was still in Mexico City,
Hard to be seen.
in a tank that was too small, too warm, too chlorinated, and he was dying. He had the papilloma virus on his pecs, and it was just. But he was so gentle, and so when it was announced that Free Willy 2 was going to go into production, the hate letters started coming in, and I mean we got one from an elderly woman who. They were addressed to Terry Semmel and Bob Daly, who were the co-chairman of the studio at the time, and they addressed one letter, "Dear Mr. Cruelty." We got a letter from a I think a 12-year-old girl who said, "If you don't get Keiko out of that tank, I'm gonna kick your ass."
Wow.
It was overwhelming, and so I think Warner Brothers knew they had a PR crisis on their hands. But the reality was
And a
that
humanity
after
crisis.
the film came out,
Or whatever it would be
yeah,
for
but after
animals.
the film came out, there was already a plan underway to try to get Keiko out of there. So it wasn't that Warner Brothers wasn't doing anything. There were others, marine biologists and activists who were trying to arrange to get Keiko out of there. So and it worked out. It was a big deal. UPS flew a cargo plane in. They got Keiko in a sling, got him to the airport, got it. The Oregon Aquarium in Newport built a huge, massive tank, filled it with seawater, and put Keiko in there, and he gained 2,000 pounds, kind of about what I gained when I was on Free Willy.
You silly goose.
Crafty.
And fresh salmon and taught him to catch his own fish again, so that after months of rehabilitation and his papillomavirus cleared up,
Wow.
that they felt it was time to return him to his homeland in Norway, and so they did.
Wow.
It took a great effort. Warner Brothers pitched in a lot of money. A lot of people did, and a lot, including dollars, quarters, and nickels from school children all over the world.
You betcha. Yep.
And so
Skipping their dessert with their lunch money, sending that stuff in. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Keiko thrived for a while. He found his family, he found his pod, but either he wasn't interested or the family had kind of moved on, and
They were like, "Oh, your head's so big now. You're Mr. Movie Star." Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
he ended up returning to the people he knew, and unfortunately he passed away in 2003. But he died as a free orca.
That's beautiful.
Aw.
That's beautiful.
Literally Free Willy.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing.
And
Free Keiko. Wow.
Good grief.
That's so sweet.
Oregonian Dave is here. Hello, Oregonian Dave. I missed that before.
We've got Walt asks, did any of the Goonies audition for Free Willy?
Oh, that's a great question because they were getting older.
No, they were much too old.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, though, a little story. Keith Walker, who played Mr. Walsh in Goonies,
Oh, I love this.
had a lot of free time on his hands while doing production because he was only in 2 scenes, and one ended up having to be reshot.
Do you know
later.
what we're talking about? With the flag. Hi, Mikey.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end, no sign, no
No
sign.
sign. Yeah, I love her. I love her.
Well, it's the guy.
Oh, sorry, the
dad.
guy. Sorry,
dad,
it was the dad. Yeah.
And
reading
so
comments.
Keith would wander around Astoria, and he was a writer, and he came up with the story of Free Willy, and wrote the first draft. And he sent me a letter when he finished it because I told him I would love to read it. And as a PS said, I based the character of Ray, the trainer, on Martha.
No kidding.
But Martha had become an actress by then, and she was doing serious films and things, and so.
But it becomes Lori Petty, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lori
So
Petty.
that's very similar in character. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. But Keith,
Wow.
and he lived to see the film come out, and he passed away several years later. But he got to see his film made.
That is so stinking cool. And Dick Donner produced it, right?
Yes. Dick actually toyed with directing it, but he had the Lethal Weapon franchise, and I think Dick, by the time that Free Willy had gone through the steps, the stages of pre-production, Dick had to really keep his interest going, and I think he just kind of fixated on something else.
Yeah.
So we hired a independent director who'd done one small film, and but ultimately I think the pressures of doing a big studio film was a little bit too much, and so Simon Winster stepped in, and so it all worked out the way it was supposed to.
Did you
For
ever have
sure.
a chance to work with Joe Johnston?
I know who Joe is. I never had a chance really to work with him.
Okay.
He was up at ILM, and I was down south at the Egg
it
Company.
seems like
So, he came.
Like half
down
these
a couple
people are in the
times.
same circle together, so that's kind of wondered.
Yeah, it was mainly Dennis Murin, because Dennis was actually friends with the guys who worked at CPC Associates, which was my first job, which was putting the arms on Mrs. Butterworth for the commercial. And so Joe was kind of mainly up in there, but Dennis and Richard Edlin and a couple others got to know them just a little bit. I made several trips to ILM while I was at LucasFilm to take things up north, to San Rafael. So, but never really spent a lot of time watching them work. Unfortunately, I would love to have done that.
Well, is that kind of the connection? The biggest connection is ILM for half because like Chris Columbus, Joe Johnston, Spielberg, Lucas, that all kind of come from ILM, or is that more Lucasfilm?
That was more Lucasfilm and Amblin.
Okay.
But like I said, I made several trips to ILM over the years, and it was more out of respect for their time. I didn't want to ever be intrusive or anything else, and now I probably would have been a little more bold in saying, hey, can I just watch you guys work for a bit? But I've learned so much through the documentaries that have been done, and through all the Cinefex magazines and things that really I kind of learned what I wanted to know.
I feel like at some point back then you could have been like, "Can I take a shot at doing this movie and see what someone says?"
Yeah, I don't think I was
once you
in
know.
that position, to be able to do that.
Mark, we have another Goonies question for you. This one is coming from Walt, and he asks, Mark, what was your least favorite Goonies memory?
Oh gosh. I don't know that I really had one. I mean, there were some things that were tougher than others, like You know, Jay referred earlier to the title, the Goonie Wrangler. The kids were often kind of in different places when they were needed. They were totally professional, but you know they were kids. And Pee Wee Herman was shooting on the stage across from us. We were shooting on stage 15 and 16, and Pee Wee Herman was on whatever stage that
They
was.
were doing Big Adventure.
And
This is the
Yeah.
actual film.
Those,
Wow.
those kids must have been constantly going over there.
well, they loved Pee Wee, you know.
Yeah.
So Stephen one day was a little frustrated, directing technique, and said, "I want you to know where every kid is every minute," which, you know, like herding cats.
Yes.
But I said, okay, I'll do my best. And, you know, most of them, I mean, you know, there were a couple that maybe I had to keep an eye on, but like I said, they were professionals, and they were where they needed to be, you know, when they were needed. And you know, mainly it was, okay, it's time to go to school. Where are they? But that's kind of how I got the name, the Goonie Wrangler or the Kid Wrangler. And but that, again, that wasn't a bad memory at all. That was a wonderful memory. It's just a little difficult.
It's annoying at the time.
Sure. Trying.
Yeah.
maybe a little bit.
Of all of the Goonie kids, who are you most in contact with to this day?
Sean, but you know, Sean is man, I'll tell you, that guy is the busiest person I've ever seen.
President of the
Zach-
Screen Actors Guild, by the way.
Absolutely. He
Oh,
speaks on mental
Sean
health
Astin.
issues.
yeah.
Yeah, he speaks on mental health issues because of his mom.
Yes.
He goes to conventions and meets the fans.
Yes.
About 10 years ago, actually more than that, 11 years ago, Sean was executive producer on a documentary that my brother Mike and I directed and produced called Remember the Sultana, a historical documentary about a steamboat that exploded carrying 2,000 Union soldiers home after the war. It's the worst maritime disaster in U.S. history, and which very few people know about. And Sean, I asked him originally to narrate because we were going to do a Kickstarter campaign, and he said, not only will I narrate, but I want to executive produce as well. So, you know, and when Sean was doing Goonies, he was also making little Super 8 films, and I helped on those and you know, find a couple of props, things like that. And then when Sean directed his first short film professionally, when he was 18, I was production manager on that shoot, and then later on the one that he was nominated for an Academy Award for, he and his wife. And I was production manager on that as well during Free Willy. So Sean has been a friend, a mentor in a ways, even though I'm older than he is. And then also Jeff Cohen. Jeff, I affectionately refer to as my little brother. He is hysterically funny. He's loyal. He's just a good man, and very talented. Partner in an entertainment law firm that already has Michelle Yeoh and Ryan Coogler as clients, and made Key's deal for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So he's, but we talk pretty regularly. Key is everywhere all at once anymore.
He is. He blew up. Well deserved.
But we just I wished him a happy birthday last week, and he messaged back, and I had a heart attack 3 years ago, and heard from everybody, Josh and Joey and Robert and the kids. So yeah, we still all keep in touch. Corey, I was with a lot when I was living out in LA, helping him with his album and fulfillments and things like that.
Sure.
But yeah, even though we may not talk a lot, but if I message them, they respond right away, and just they're very special to me.
Jeff Cohen is somebody we know as well because he and my wife used to know each other professionally, and their company was their firm was our law firm of record for our company. But specifically, a lot of the compliments I got from our panel were the Jeff Cohen, Mark Marshall segment of our Goonies panel in Astoria, where he called in. You've done that a couple of years in a row. You guys have an amazing rapport. How much of that is written ahead of time, or are you guys both just winging it?
For the 40th, I was in LA and had lunch with Jason Richter, and then had dinner with Jeff. And he said, "So you're going up to Astoria?" And he wasn't going to be involved at all.
Right.
And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, you're going to do panels?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to be on a panel." He said, "Well, why don't I call in and surprise everybody?" So he did. I told the crew, and they arranged with him for the FaceTime or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And yeah, he was reading my book and just hysterical. And then for this year, he wanted it to be a surprise. I found out actually, but he wanted it to be a surprise for me.
Yes.
And wearing the Ewok top, and
I think he started with the Ewok prop. He had a few prop hats.
Cute.
He did, yeah. And when he was a kid, he wore a different one every day. So he's he's the master of those. But it's just so easy, and he makes it so much fun.
Yeah.
There were certain things that he wanted to say that I said, "You can't say that." And to his credit, he didn't. So I was really proud of him for that. But no, I've known not like Jeff, but his sister Edie and their mom Elaine. Since we did the movie, and
so his sister's really named Edie.
Yes,
just
Edie
like
Faye.
in the movie. I pushed my sister Edie
and
down the stairs and blamed it on the dog.
Exactly. He is a writer and wrote the recent Camp Rock 3, I guess with the Jonas Brothers, and
whoa,
he's written several scripts. She is as funny as Jeff is, and they made such a great team. Never fought when I was with them, but Elaine would have everyone over who didn't have a place to go for the holidays back in the 80s, and so Annie Ramsey and her husband Logan, and
Mama
the
Fratelli
Lawrence
for
brothers.
those uninitiated.
Yeah, and Logan was the character actor on Land of the Giants, and things. So it was just a place to hang out. We had a great time, and so I love them all. They're wonderful people.
Ugh, it's so good to hear that. We all have such a fondness for these people and these memories of this movie and everything, and we're so happy that this is one where it does have mainly really good stories.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything negative that didn't turn into something positive.
Well, see, that's why it was, to answer that question of what was the least favorite, or maybe the worst one was that someone took a rifle shot at the house the first day of filming. And,
Sorry?
It was the cast was there, Steven was there, Dick was there, of course, and a rifle shot rang out and hit the house, and it turned out a young kid got a rifle for his birthday, and before school started, he was firing it. Didn't think about where the bullets would go, so they got that taken care of, and they got everybody to safety. But it was a little bit hairy. But other than that, like I said, there really were no bad times.
Well, that's an amazing little tidbit I never heard before.
I'm in this chat, so I kind of missed it.
That's amazing. Troy Franz, by the way, is the one who built Mama Fratelli's Jeep. So you met Troy up there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello, Troy.
Great
Glad you're
job,
here.
too.
So I have another Goonies thing that just came up.
Sure,
since
go
we're
ahead.
on Goonies.
Go ahead.
And then I have more still for Willy.
No, go ahead.
So Mari asks, which kid was the most rambunctious on the Goonies set?
Oh gosh, I couldn't possibly answer that. Sean asked me. No, Sean. Listen, Sean by his own admission, will tell you that if he was given a little bit of sugar, or a sip of a soft drink, he was off like a bottle rocket. And this kid had more energy than all the crew members put together. But he used it creatively, and his energy was infectious too. I mean, if the other kids were flagging it all, they stepped it up. So Sean was the leader in every way.
A leader then and a leader now.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's inspiring in so many ways to me, especially, I mean, his childhood is interesting, his adulthood is interesting.
Jay, I got one for you, buddy.
Oh, great.
Tracy, oh no, sorry. This one came from Jason. Jay, can you give us your best Willy cry impression, followed by your impression of the bone organ B flat?
What's the first one? Is it something from Free Willy? Because
The
I
first one
won't
is your
get the
best Willy cry impression.
Willy cry. I don't know
Just
what that
a
is.
whale cry. Give us a good whale. That's going to be a no, Jason.
I just got to think about it. How does it want to? The problem is we're underwater for that, so we need some kind of reverb, and I don't know how to do that from here.
Where he's crying in the tank, where he misses his family.
Yeah.
I don't know what a whale sounds like.
Followed by your impression of the bone organ B flat.
Oh, well, if you hit the wrong note, we'll all be flat. Julia Cole says, just finishing packaging something up for Adam's folks, and then it's news about Dolly. So the funny thing about Adam is I actually invited his sister Faith and Ryan to be here tonight.
Oh.
Yeah. Scheduling, travel, couldn't end up doing it, but they were here last week and this week, and we really wanted to make it work, but timing didn't work out. But they will be in next time we're in town. So Faith, Adam's sister, and her husband Ryan will be here.
Good.
E-Cola is beautiful and unexpected. It really is. So, Mark, I'm conscious of your time, but there are two people specifically I want to ask you about. One of which you've already alluded to a little bit. We've talked about him a bit, but I also know you have a certain fondness and maybe want to say more about Mr. Dick Donner.
Oh, gosh. I think I can do it now without crying. Dick was... There was no one like him in the industry or in my journeys. He had, first of all, he had this booming voice you could hear clear across the Warner Brothers lot. He also had one of the most infectious laughs that I've ever heard. And
equally loud.
Yes, absolutely, and full-throated. I mean, if you see the practical joke that we played on Dick, courtesy of Steven.
Oh, we do have to talk about that too, of course.
Video
yes.
of it, yeah, you can hear Dick's laugh. He was the most inspirational person, the most in command of a set that of any director I'd ever experienced. I mean, Steven had a different style. Steven knew exactly what he wanted, as did Dick. But Dick made it almost a game. And, he had these sayings like, why am I waiting? And hip hop, and
hip hop.
And after the first take, he would tell an actor, cut 10 minutes out, things like that. But cast and crews adored that guy. I knew crew members who had been offered jobs, but if they knew Dick had a film starting 3 or 4 months down the road, they would turn down work and wait for Dick's film to start.
Wow.
And Dick never let them down. He inspired such loyalty and made it fun. Even when he would get mad, it was, he got mad at me a couple times, and it was over so quickly, and all was forgiven. And there are a couple of instances in the book, but we had a lunch, a reunion, Donner Schuler Donner reunion lunch in 2018, which was 3 years before Dick passed away. And it was just, when he saw me, he gave me a hug, and then he got on to me about my weight, which was perfectly legitimate. He'd been doing that since I started working for him. And he was concerned about my weight. And, but he said, "I love you, kid," and that instantly went beyond a working relationship and became more family centric.
Incredible.
And I told Dick that I said, look, I'm going to lose the weight because I want to work on Lethal 5. He was working on that at the time.
Oh,
and
he was developing a Lethal 5? I didn't know that.
Yeah, with Mel and Danny, and I said I'm going to lose the weight because I want to work on that. He said, "You got it, kid."
Wow.
And unfortunately, that was the last time I saw him. But I don't think anything I say covers who he really was. Because he was just an amazing man, and one heck of a director. I mean, when I first met him, Steven introduced me to him the first day of casting for Goonies, and I said, "You're the man responsible for my nightmares." And he looked at me kind of funny, and I said, "Nightmare at 20,000 feet." William opens the curtain, and there's the thing staring at him. The gremlin staring at him.
Shatner, Twilight Zone. Yeah.
Yeah, it scared me so bad at age 8 that to this day I still cannot sleep with curtains or blinds open. I have to have everything closed because that image stayed. And Dick got the biggest kick out of that.
I know what you mean, but I go the other route. I got to have them open so that I can see that there's nothing out there. Because if it's closed, when I open it, it's going to be right there.
I'm team closed.
You are too?
Because I don't want. Go ahead, Mark.
No, if you stay closed, then
and just never look. Okay, all right. Pandora's box it. Okay, I got you.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, if they're closed, you can't see me. I don't want you. If there's something out there, I don't want you looking in.
That's same here.
When I can't see,
I'm not afraid of it seeing me. I got afraid when we saw it.
That feels vulnerable. Can I ask another Willy question?
Yes. We cut him off. We didn't really let him.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Told you, chaos.
What did we? I mean, Dick Donner to me is a legend in the business. So many of my favorite movies, including the Lethal Weapon series, I just think are spectacular films. You don't even need to like that genre; they're just so well done. So I wish I got the opportunity to work with him at some point. I love that you had multiple times. I think that's fantastic.
When I saw Superman, I thought I just want to meet Dick. And when I saw Close Encounters, I said I just want to meet Steven. And when I saw Star Wars, I said I just want to meet George. And
how'd that work out?
It worked out okay.
Back to the beginning.
Yeah.
I got to go a little bit, but with Dick, he was a mentor. He was, and I will never ever forget him until my dying day.
I think there's something important there that you said that kind of ties back into the initial question of how do you get into it and that balance. You were not looking for anything from them. And I think that is such an important thing in this industry because it's so transactional and everybody wants something from you, just depending on where you are in the totem pole. So when someone just genuinely wants to meet you, because I like your work. I'm not asking for anything from you. I just admire you and I admire your work and I would like to say hello.
That's a very good point.
That's it. I mean, energetically, it's just it's such a different feeling on the receiving end of that.
Absolutely. And, I think that older Hollywood probably responds better to that. I mean, the two actors I met during my time at Amblin, who were the legends of old Hollywood to me, was Jimmy Stewart and Gene Kelly. And at least with Gene Kelly, I, blurted out, what a big fan I was and how much I loved his work, just watching him over and over. And he seemed genuinely touched that someone would say that. I think there was a humbleness, back then. And with Steven was, and with George as well. I mean, more of Steven because I interacted with Steven more, but I was there to serve him, to serve his needs so he could do what he did best, which was to dream for a living. And
beautiful.
and it all worked out. He knew I would never ask for anything. And in fact, I have a group picture, all of Amblin. It was a Christmas picture, and then Time Magazine did a photo of the Amblin group for its 1985 issue. And other than that, I don't have a picture with Steven. I don't have a picture with George. I have a picture with Dick only because I'm sitting behind him watching a monitor. I never asked people to be in pictures
Same.
with me.
Yeah, I have
just
no
never
photos.
I thought that would be unprofessional. So
I used to think that. Now it's selfie age, and everybody's just, oh, let's get a picture. And it's like, if you don't get a picture, it's rude because you're supposed to post it and show that you were the place and the thing with the people.
I still struggle with it, especially on set. Like, I don't, because now I'm looking for photos. I'm looking for like things of me working, and I'm just like, I still don't like it.
It also flipped 180 from when Mark and I were younger, where you weren't supposed to show any of this stuff until it was out, and now you're supposed to promote the shit out of it whenever the heck you can, 24/7.
I feel like that's only the last couple of years, and depending on the project that you're on as well. But I came up like that as well. But they're counting on the
people working on its social media numbers in order to fucking get the movie watched.
When they give the permission to release it. But to your point, like I came up like that as well, that everything is NDA. You cannot take photos. Do not take photos on set. Like none of that. And it's inappropriate to take photos with like celebrities. So like if I don't have a relationship with you, I don't, even with my friends, I'm bad at doing that, but especially on set. So, Mark, I really understand that where you're like, I don't have any photos.
Mark and I are probably before NDAs, too.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
But it was just sort of understood that you don't share.
Yeah, absolutely. No, at the same time, I took hundreds of pictures on the Goonies set and the Color Purple set because everybody was taking pictures. And John Shannon, who was our photographer, didn't seem to mind. So I have a lot of great memories, photos of cast and crew and on both films. And those mean a lot to me now, being my age and being really semi-retired.
One, we forgot to bring up the Color Purple. And two,
oh my God,
Kyle leaving and coming back seems to have fixed all of our bandwidth issues. Mark is now crystal clear and everything is perfect audio.
And we were picking up on...
Thanks, Kyle. You fixed it.
Yeah.
The
While
Color
I was
Purple.
gone, I found the Grail.
Oh! Now that's the cup of a carpenter.
There
Look at it light his face up.
There
It's
it
all
is.
lit up. That's amazing.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Perfection.
The Color Purple is a big movie for all time, but especially of the 80s.
Yeah.
What was your experience there? And then we'll try to let you go soon. I'm sorry. You're so generous with your time.
No, that's fine. No, it's we had such a busy year in '85. I mean, we were on stage shooting Goonies. It was called the Burbank Studios then, but it was Warner Brothers.
Warner, yeah.
From the first 3 months of 1985, and then Steven directed 2 episodes of Amazing Stories within 2 months.
Oh my God!
All the while he was, prepping Color Purple. We started shooting Color Purple in early June. I think June 5th was our first day, and we shot until sometime in late August, and we had the film out for Academy consideration on Steven's birthday, December 18th of that year. So it was a really crazy year.
Some schedule, yeah.
Yeah, but the great thing was that we were shooting on location mainly in North Carolina, and in the summer of '85, which was brutally hot. But again, the cast were mainly unknowns. I mean, Whoopi hadn't done a film. Oprah had never been in a film. Willard Pugh, nobody knew who Willard was or Augusto Bucio was. The biggest star on the film was the guy who played Mister's father, Adolf Caesar. And he had been in A Soldier Story. Danny Glover had places in the part out, but Silverado wasn't coming in until the summer that we were shooting.
Right.
So,
and Lethal Weapon not until 5 years later.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. And Lawrence Fishburne was Larry Fishburne.
Larry Fishburne, right.
Oh, wow.
He was that in the helicopters, too, with Francis Ford Coppola.
So we were out on the set, 30 miles from the hotel every day, and it was all self-contained. We had Mister's house, and then down the road was Harpo's house, and then the juke joint was across from that, and then the church where Shirk's father pastored. And the crew was amazing. Michael Riva again,
See the smoke.
Production designer. Yeah, Alan Davio. It was just such a special experience. We were away from the studio lot. Steven Spielberg was directing. It was his first real kind of adult subject matter film, which was setting up for him then to do Empire of the Sun and eventually Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Which, by the
Heavy
way,
stuff.
Schindler's was already in his script cabinet when I was there. So
Wow.
you know, in '84.
He had a run of serious Amistad too. He had a run of some serious action going on there. Yeah.
And Munich, and it really changed him. So that was really the catalyst. But again, talk about a family. It was just us out there, and so I took pictures of everyone and everything, and because I wanted to remember that summer. It was the summer of Chaka Khan's Through the Fire and You Give Good Love by Whitney Houston. And so those songs still take me right back to that time of, that summer of '85. So that will always be a special one too. And I'm very proud to have been associated with that film.
Yeah.
Wow.
You've got
Not to
more
like
over there?
totally skip ahead, but I had a
Kyle,
question,
it
I
seems
guess,
as
on
though
like the
there
Harry
may be a
Potter.
fire hazard
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on in your
you
place there,
okay?
Kyle. I see some
No,
smoke in the
it's-
background.
That's the temple back there. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. The Ark of the Covenant is leaking.
Yeah, exactly. So like doing post-production supervisor for like let's say Harry Potter. Does that mean like day of wrap you kind of take over until it's released? Is that how that kind of works?
Well, with Harry Potter, they started shooting in September of 1999. No, of 2000, and I joined the company in February of 2001, and they still had 2 months of shooting left. Usually, a post supervisor comes on the final week of shooting, and just sets up editorial and work, sets up the vendors, things like that. But it was kind of all ongoing, the whole time. And the reason I actually did the film was that Chris's executive assistant, Paula Prepesman, normally did post-production for his films, but her husband developed colorectal cancer, and they had to return to San Francisco. Actually, Robin Williams found the hospital for them that could treat her husband, Kurt.
Wow.
And so they left Bill Daly, who was my mentor at Warner Brothers and just an incredible guy. He was senior VP of post-production at Warner's. He recommended me for the job, and fortunately I already knew Chris. So, but I got the job, flew over to London. I had 5 days between wrapping up a film that Billy Crystal directed for HBO called 61 Asterisk.
Yes, I loved that.
Yeah, it
It's
was,
Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle. They're raised to beat Bruce record.
That's where we got Barry Pepper from as well.
Yes, and Billy was a delight to work with, and we laughed a lot. But so I had to drive back to Oklahoma where my stuff was, repack, fly to London, and for 10 months. And so, editorial was already in full swing when I got there, but I had to still set up vendors for ADR, for scoring. We didn't know when John was going to want to score. John Williams was going to want to score the picture, so we kind of had to play it by ear. I supervised the budget, and then the delivery of the film. The post-production supervisor is responsible for the look of the film that hits the theaters. I mean, while the director of photography
quality
makes the picture, and of course you want to make sure the tracks are good. When the prints are made, at least the answer print that the release prints are going to be made from, you have to make sure that all the sound formats, which there were 4 at the time, SR, SRD, DTS, and SDDS, all from different companies, we had to make sure that the sounds, there were no dropouts, the sound was as good as it could be, and then the picture looked good. And in our case, on the case of Harry Potter, we had 23 languages dubbed and subtitles, and there were 2 versions because in the U.S. and certain English-speaking territories, it was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Sorcerer.
Everything else, yeah, it was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
And there were 3 reels of the picture which had either sorcerers or philosophers, so we had to keep those straight as well. And that was a bear. But we made it. You know, my only regret is that because visual effects took so long, and we were narrowing, and we couldn't miss our release window. It was written in stone. At one point, we were already starting to release printing for the reels that we had already approved. But in one of the final reels, the Chamber of Keys, we were looking at the effects at Leeds, and Chris turned to me and said, "Can we make another pass?" And I said, "Chris, we won't make the release date." So he had to live with the latest pass, and it wasn't the best it could be. So I've always, I hated to be the one to say to a director, "I'm sorry, you can't do that."
Right.
Because that
We don't have
wasn't
time.
my job. Was to say, "Yes, we'll make it happen." The film made almost $1 billion, and
Not
it
bad.
set up
No,
the next 7
Yeah.
films. So everybody was pleased, and it was a historical franchise.
yeah.
It really was. And I was thrilled to be a part of the first one.
They didn't have to have you wrangle any of the kids the last couple weeks they were shooting, did they?
But Rupert and Emma hadn't acted before, and Daniel had done The Tailor of Panama with Pierce Brosnan and the BBC adaptation of Great Expectations, playing the young Pip. And so I thought, well, when you have new actors, especially kids, things like ADR can be very, very daunting.
I suppose, yeah. So you still had to deal with them afterwards too, I suppose.
Yeah, so we had our sound designer and his crew on site. Leesville was a big place. We built sound editorial right down from editorial. And so I had Eddie Joseph, our sound designer, rig a makeshift ADR session and brought all 3 of them in together. And it became a contest to see who could move, more accurately. And they all 3 passed with flying color, and they did a
That's great.
fantastic job. So
You probably gave them that Goonies Wrangler magic, that's all.
That's it.
no,
Yeah, I know what to do with these kids.
I turned it over to the professionals, but it was fun being around, an amazing British cast. I mean, you have Richard Harris, Dame Maggie Smith, Robbie Coltrane, Alan Rickman. Man, you're in heaven.
That's insane. Those 4 names together. That's insane.
It really is. And
Yeah.
just to watch them operate on set and how they got along with kids. And so,
Sirs and dames working with these kids in this wizard movie is crazy
Yeah. I have one more I'd love to read to Mark.
to me. Okay, and then I have one, and then we should.
Okay, and this is not a question, it's just something lovely.
Perfect.
This is coming from Tracy. She says, "Mark, your stories are fascinating and so fun. I'm ordering your book and cannot wait to read it. Next time you get to Astoria, I would love to have you sign it. You are a
course.
treasure."
Oh, that's sweet. That's very sweet. And I'm happy to sign it. I'm happy to sign any book for anyone. I mean, listen, if she buys my book tonight, I will have sold a book. That's
Yay.
So,
And we should mention that a lot of the stories you heard here tonight and many, 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 many more are available in a book entitled Goonies, Droids, and Killer Whales, written by Mr. Mark Marshall.
all the embarrassing pieces, everything, and some observations. But being able to remember those memories after 40, almost 50 years. That's a blessing.
One of the other people that I wanted to ask you about, the other person I wanted to ask you about, happens to have shown up in the chat here. That is Kathleen Kiefer.
Oh, hey, Kathleen.
She is a mutual friend of ours, someone we are both extremely fond of. Is there anything you want to talk about your history with her?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Kathleen is actually traveling right now with a very dear friend of hers and and her best friend Robin Skelton, who you also met. Robin
Yes.
and Kathleen and I all worked at Amblin together, and I'll tell you, they made those years very special. It was in Steven's office. It was Julie Moskowitz and Kathleen and I. We ran, we took care of Steven's life for him, and it was just. And then when Kathleen left to go to New York to work with Ron Howard's Imagine Entertainment, another dear friend, Marianne Gallagher Campbell, came in and kind of took over the big sister vibe, and then we had Deborah Fletcher, who was Steven's executive assistant, and Fletch married. She was dating a composer. She wasn't sure how it was going to go, but they did fall in love and get married. His name is Snuffy Walden, and he wrote the themes for 30-something and West Wing
everything.
and Wonder Years. Oh, absolutely, and they had many good years. But no, Kathleen and Robin are sisters to me.
Whoopsie daisy.
And I love them dearly. I couldn't have made it through Amblin without them.
Hear that,
Did
Kathleen?
you,
I know you're driving, but I'm sure you listened to that.
Did you start working with Steven like prior? I mean, like, were you as early as like E.T. and things like that?
No, I was
Being a
actually
projectionist?
when I was at Lucasfilm. Steven came to direct Raiders, and he needed a projectionist at home. And Frank Marshall, who no relation but same last name, obviously, came to me and said, "Can you run a 35 millimeter projector?" And I said, "Of course." Well, I'd never run one in my life. I'd run a 60 millimeter projector, which was self-threading, for school. But I learned the hard way, and so I would run films for Steven at night while he was prepping Raiders, and then I would work at Lucasfilm during the day. So that's when I met Steven, was in late 79 or early 80. And then happened to see him after I left Lucasfilm. I saw him several years later, and he actually wanted me to come back as his projectionist at Amblin.
Yeah.
But it was a union job, and I wasn't union. So he made me his personal assistant instead.
That's a good way around it. So, I mean, did you have to like literally go run, pick up dailies and drive them back and forth all the time and stuff like that?
No, the studios would deliver the
Okay.
pictures that Steven wanted to screen, whether it was Guy Named Joe or whatever he wanted to run. There were daily roles, though, from Close Encounters, because at the time, Steven was also had talked to Columbia. They wanted a sequel to Close Encounters, and Steven didn't want to do one, but he said, "I want to do a special edition because there were scenes that I never got a chance to film. I'd like to film." So they gave him $1 million budget, and he went out and shot additional scenes. But he also had scenes that he had shot originally back in 1976, and we ran all those daily rolls, and including all the outtakes of the alien Puck, the nickname Puck, and so that was the only daily rolls that I ever ran.
Did they release that as like a director cut or something then, or?
It was called the special edition, which Steven,
Okay.
one of the stipulations was, in order to do it, Steven had to show Richard Dreyfuss going inside the mothership and what was inside the mothership.
Yeah.
And it was a little underwhelming, and I think Steven regretted ever doing it. So you won't, even though that edition exists, it's not Steven's sanctioned edition.
There are, if you buy it now today, there are 3 versions usually contained, and it's the theatrical, that special edition, and then a director's cut, which is Steven's version, which does not have that. It has other things from the special edition, but that is not there. He didn't, didn't care for it.
I still personally want to see a Hook director's cut, but I don't think that movie went the direction he wanted it to the entire time anyways, so.
Yeah.
No, and and there are films that Steven did that he's not really ready to revisit, like 1941, which had just come out when he came to Lucasfilm to direct Raiders, and wouldn't talk about it.
I'm a fan, even though I recognize it's not necessarily a great story throughout. It's the little, if you look at all the little segments, all the little musical vignettes, the numbers, and just shooting a comedy movie during that time and some of the bits in it, pretty funny. pretty good.
I agree.
You do?
Oh yeah.
Nobody knows that movie.
Yeah. Well.
For doing like projections of like the dailies for, let's say, Last Crusade, were you traveling then for that?
No, I actually left. I really wanted to get into production. I knew that if I stayed at Amblin, I would be in my 70s and still doing personal errands for Steven. And so I sent him a resignation letter and told him I would, train my replacement and send it over in the London Pouch while he was directing Last Crusade. So I was gone before he got back. But he wrote me a very nice note and said, "You'll always have a job here if you want."
Wow.
So that meant a lot to me.
Is that note transferable? Could you send it over here, and then I could just go 2 blocks over to Amblin and
Sure.
look, I have this letter from Mark Marshall.
It's somewhere in my files. But I did run a daily for Lethal Weapon 2, and Scrooge.
Oh, I forgot
when I
about
was working
Scrooge.
for Don. So
That must have been a shit show of Bill Murray and Dick.
Well, you can read up a lot about that, Kyle.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure because you're talking about 10-minute rolls or less and double systems. So you've got picture and sound on 2 different projectors. You've got to spread up and make sure they're ready to go. And it's kind of stressful.
Mark, the surprise guest is not probably going to make it, I'm guessing, at this point, but it was, you mentioned you did a film with the Olsen twins. It was actually going to be Jodie Sweetin, who played their sister on Full House.
Oh,
she obviously was a child star, but more than that, that's the reason I asked you about Adria later, was she was their studio teacher during the years of Full House, and she had nothing but positive things to say. Once she found out you were going to be on the show, she said, "I bet he knows him, maybe I'll come by," yada, yada, yada.
Oh, yeah. No, Adria was wonderful. In fact, I met her. She was Key's teacher on Temple of Doom. And so when I was taking Key around to the different publicity appearances, I was with Adria sometimes and loved her. She's a wonderful lady. She really is. So much fun to be with.
I'm so glad. That seems to be the consensus. She had nothing but nice things to say. How are you with the chat? Otherwise, I'd love to let Mark go. I told him it would be an hour, and it's been 2.
We have quieted down in the chat, so we are good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kyle, how are you? Because I could talk to Mark like literally forever. I find you to be so interesting, and just your energy is so kind and sweet that it's very easy to be around you.
Despite my clumsiness in explaining things, but maybe we can do it again.
I hope so.
to.
Yes, I would love to have you and Kathleen on together, like we did up in the panel that time. And well, first of all, do you ever get to LA?
Very early.
Okay, all right. Well, if you ever do, please add me to your lunch list with Chunk and whoever else you're meeting with.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'd love to.
All right.
I'd love to.
By the way, it's Jeff Cohen, of course. Jeff Cohen Esquire.
Jim Michaels on too.
Get who?
Get Jim Michaels on as well.
Oh my God, I forgot. That is a weird small world. I totally forgot. It came up the other day that he knew Jim Michaels. Oh wait, Jim Michaels worked on Free Willy. He always told me that.
Oh yeah.
He told me he's the voice of the announcer in something in Free Willy.
Yeah, so we were doing a temp dub and getting ready to screen it for the first time. And we needed an announcer for the Willy show. And so I said, well, I've got a friend, Jim Michaels, and he's nearby. So Jim came over and did it. And a few weeks later, I went to Simon when we were doing the final ADR. And I said, do you want me to go ahead and find another announcer's voice? And Simon said, no, mate, he's great. So, and Jim got his SAG card and his SAG insurance. But Jim is such a loyal friend. I mean, I've known him for over 40 years. And he was also an executive producer on Remember the Sultana.
Yeah, I just saw that.
So I had the best team around.
Wow. So I worked with him on Everybody Hates Chris. He was the producer on Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so 3-4 years together there. But we were friends outside. We would go, we spent New Year's Eve together at a bar in Santa Monica. You know what I mean? We were friends. And then please do. He was living in West Hollywood and Canada when he was shooting Supernatural or whatever the show was. Roswell? What was he?
No,
Toronto
Supernatural.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's living in Toronto, but he has a home across from the Hollywood Bowl, across the freeway,
Oh yeah.
on the east side of the freeway.
Yeah, we are very close to one another.
My ex lived in that neighborhood.
The house across, the bungalow across from Jim's house was the one that Charlie Chaplin bought for his mistress.
Yeah.
I think Buster Keaton lived
We
next
know right.
door.
We know
to
right
We know
where
that
that
house.
is. It's called that area is called the Hollywood Dell, and
Yeah.
our friend lives in the exact same area.
Yeah.
And David
I practically
Lombard
lived
had
there.
a home there, and
I love that neighborhood.
Walt Disney had the bungalow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, small world. Yes, you, Jim Michaels. I mean, I love Memory Lane, as you know. I'm at the age where I love Memory Lane.
It's so interesting. And the intersectionality of who worked with who,
Yeah.
when, and did we actually know each other then? It's so fascinating.
He brought it up the other day on a Blockbuster Year, and I was like, Jim Michaels, I know Jim Michaels, I know Jim Michaels. And then I remember that he worked on Back to the Future 2. He was doing video playback. He's been an accountant. Jim Michaels has done every single
He
job
worked
in
on
this
Spies
industry.
Like Us, VFX.
See, there you go.
I'm sure we
There's a
did
ton
lot
of
more people
stuff.
together.
Well, I just love you, man, is really all it is. I'm so grateful for your time, but really your friendship.
Always.
So thank you so much for your time. How do people keep up with you, Mark Marshall?
Let's see. By email, I'm at River Rock Entertainment LLC at gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram under Mark A. Marshall.
Yep.
So, please contact me. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Yep, and check out Mark's book. I highly recommend buying a copy. It is entitled Goonies, Droids, and Killer Whales.
It's on Amazon right now in Kindle and paperback, and then I'm hoping to have the audio version available before the end of the year.
Oh, that would be
Yay.
great.
Follow-up book?
Oh, that would be great.
Is the follow-up book going to be like Grails, Cauldrons, and something else?
Oh, that's good. That's
Yes.
good.
It was going to be Goonies, Droids, and Flying Brooms, but Free Willy was too central. So,
Yeah.
How about you, Kyle? How do people keep up with you?
I'm hopefully going to have a video up here soon. I've been a little busy with other stuff, but we went to a goofy place the other day called Hot Sam's, like antique place, and
Cool.
I don't even know how to explain it. It's a goofy photo park kind of place with the weirdest crap.
Nice.
But I'll have that up hopefully soon, and then I got my other channel. You can find me at Kyle Watts pretty much everywhere.
Love it.
Yeah.
Producer
You can
Ariel,
find me here.
purple-headed.
Purple-headed producer. That's right. So right now I am mostly talking about the Distinguished Gentleman's Drive, which is a charity fundraiser, classic car drive, vintage attire, raising money for Movember. They do men's mental health, suicide prevention, cancer research, and testicular research. You can join a drive anywhere in the world. Go to gentlemansdrive.com, or you can just donate to the LA Drive and go to Babes and Classics or Ariel Zadok, and I'll lead you to the way to all of that. But that's happening Sunday, September 27th, worldwide.
Nice.
So come and donate or come and
I was
drive.
going to quick add to October 25th, Twin Pines Mall meetup.
Say it again.
Couldn't hear
Everybody
that.
go.
You kind of broke up there.
Yeah, October 25th. Sorry, October 25th,
Got it.
Twin Pines Mall. You can find me there as well, and I think everyone should go because it might be the last year before that mall's gone.
So you will be here in LA in October. All right. Well, so we should
Cool.
figure out something where you'll be here in person. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Porsche Life 11. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Quick thing. Tomorrow is Bayman Zachary's birthday, 50th birthday.
50th
So please wish him
birthday.
happy birthday.
Wow.
Yes. Good call, Mark.
Thank you. Please
the-
wish him happy birthday.
The new head Goonie, now that Dick Donner has passed away. Bayman is the one who bought the Goonies house and
Wow.
restored
Oh,
the
yeah.
Goonies house. And was a guest with Mark and Brandon and myself the other night on Blockbuster Year. So Porsche Life 111, if you want to follow me, Jay Ryan is a new account as well. Obviously here in the late night playset, we have the Blockbuster Year, which is the movie show with Brandon. Good Vibes Breakfast Club if you're here in LA and love cars. But specifically next week here on the show in Late Night Playset, we've got Phil Morris and somebody you know, Shira Lazar.
Oh, fun.
Phil Morris is a friend of the show. He played Jackie Childs on Seinfeld. Shira Lazar is a new friend. We met over
great.
at the other show, Ben Glebes. She is a top 100 creator, and she's very fascinating. She's been around for a long time in the creator space. And after we met her and she looked me up on Instagram. She sent me a very nice message afterwards telling me how she knew my wife from a previous lifetime. And so we're going to be talking about that stuff as well, which is going to be fun. And
so
Phil,
again, this weird sectionality of like, oh my God, we knew each other. There's the weaving.
We
and,
are all connected somehow,
100%.
all of us. Yes.
Yep.
So with that, we love you at home. Please love one another. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Mark, for being here. Kyle, thank you for your time. Purplehead, thank you for everything.
Thank you.
And we love you. We'll see you out there.
Love you, Dave.
Bye. Thank you so much, Mark.
Well, thank you, Kyle. Kyle.